Wagwan, what's great? Chef Adrian Morris again, man, and today I want to present to you a dish that has been highly requested, and the camera personnel made the biggest request for this one because she loves curry, especially my curry. So this video is not only to educate you, but also to educate her on how I get my curry the way I get it all the time. So if that's something that sounds interesting, yeah, we're doing curried shrimp. So if that's something that's interesting to you, stick around. After the intro, we get cooking.
We know about sardine, mackerel, chicken neck, chicken back. Nothing I waste, nothing I dash way.
Alright, so here we have a few ingredients that we're going to be using to get that curry simple yet delicious, right? First and foremost, you need fresh ingredients as well as dry ingredients. And the fresh ingredients of choice are, we have right here the star of the show, no curry can do without some Scotch bonnet pepper, right? And for the Scotch bonnet pepper right here, we're going to use to our spice tolerance. She doesn't mind to get a little bit of spice, but we're cooking for Jamaican as well. We have to be careful on how much we use. So this one is totally up to your tolerance and judgment for the Scotch bonnet pepper, but it is a must. Here we have now fresh ginger, and I use the peeler to get that very thin, but nothing too big, right? And then right here we have some bell peppers. I'm going with the red, yellow, red, yellow, I don't know colors. I'm going in with the green, yellow, and red. You don't know the Rastaman colors. This is going to make the dish pop and look very good. See? And I'm using just a quarter of each bell pepper and their small bell peppers. Over here now, I have carrot. Now for the carrot, I like to have carrot in my stew because one, growing up, when you put carrot in your curry, it gives it that color as well as volume. If you don't have enough chicken or shrimp, you use carrot and potatoes to just make up that dish so you can share for everybody. That's a Caribbean thing. I don't know if you do that overseas. Comment below, let me know. See? So I'm using just a small piece of carrot. As you can see, it's like 2 inches long, nothing much. And the reason why I'm using such a small amount, because carrot tends to be sweet. You don't want to get this dish on a sweet level, so you use a little bit of carrot just for that color. And you know what I'm saying? Over here now I have a white onion, and for this onion now, this is the ideal one that I always use. Less expensive than the red onion, but if you have the red onion, you can use that as well. And we're using half of a medium white onion, right? And I have the fresh thyme. You don't know, nothing can complete without thyme, you know. That's how we name Morris thyme. See? So we have some fresh thyme, about 2 stalks. Smell nice, and you know, everything is washed as I said. And then over here now, I have my potatoes. And if you realize I'm using 2 styles of potatoes, if you have one, you can use that. But I'm going to give you a quick explanation as to why I chose 2. Here I have the white potato. This is good for frying and boiling, right? And then I have the yellow potato. This is good for like your mashed potato. And the reason why I chose both of them, because if you've been following me long enough, when I cook, I try to, not only for my dishes to taste good, but to be appealing to the eyes. They use the white ones because you need them to, they hold their structure more. So when you use the white ones, you can identify the different ingredients in that curry dish. But when you use the yellow one now, that disintegrates quicker, so that will make our sauce nice and creamy. So you don't have to add any cornstarch or anything like that, because there's enough starch in these yellow potatoes and they just break apart easier, right? So that's the reason why I'm going to be using 2. But if you have one, you can go ahead and use just that. If you have the yellow one, use it, but you want to cook that less, because the more you cook it, it's just going to break down and make your sauce thick and chunky, and we don't want that. That's the list of the fresh ingredients, the fresh seasonings that we're going to be using. Over here now, I have my dry ingredients. Of course, you have to use your curry powder of your choice. Over here, I have some dry thyme. We use the fresh and we use the dry thyme, but if you have one, you can just go ahead and use that one, all right? Then right here, I have my all-purpose seasoning. Now for the all-purpose seasoning, you can be creative or to your liking for this one. You can use fish seasoning because we're dealing with seafood, right? You can use fish seasoning or your favorite all-purpose seasoning for this method. But you have to ensure that you have these fresh ingredients that I list here to get that authentic taste, right? And right here, I have some fresh garlic chopped up and everything already. You need some fresh garlic as well as you need powdered garlic. And then lastly, apart from the shrimp, we have ourselves some nice pimento. And then of course we can't make curry shrimp without the shrimp. So we're using here deveined wash in a little bit of lime and vinegar. You see me? And water of course. Some fresh shrimp. This is 1.5 pounds for this recipe. Okay, so I'm going to kickstart now with my vegetables, and you can cut these in julienne strips or you can dice them. I'm going to put some little cubes because they just go a longer way, right? So 3 cuts. So like that. Nothing too big, nothing too small. And the reason for this is it makes the dish pop more and make it appear to be more than it is, right? For the sweet pepper, they come with little to no taste, but you don't want to overdo it with your sweet peppers because too much sweet pepper is just going to take away the flavor from your curry, and the curry and the shrimp are the star of the show, so you don't want to overpower this with too many sweet peppers, right? So there we go. Then the carrot now, I'm going to do the carrot in same cubes, same little cubes. Cube my carrot. Carrot is going to look like that of frozen mixed vegetable. That's the style I'm looking for. So there, nice. Put that to the side. Right, that fresh ginger here. So that fresh ginger is very thin. We just finely dice that. I'm going to add that fresh ginger because it's finely diced to my garlic. Right. Scotch bonnet pepper. I don't want to use too much because, as I said, Jamie will partake in this. So about that is good, all right? And I'm going to put that directly into the shrimp. My onion. Now for the onion, now I'm just going to cut these in nice little strips. Like that. Like half of that amount of onion into nice strips like that. Put that to the side. And then the other half now, I'm just gonna rough chop that. So this half, we're gonna add that into our shrimp. I'm gonna be cutting up my potatoes. This is a yellow potato, which is softer, so we're gonna cut them a little bit bigger, right? So we'll cut these just a bit bigger into about 4 like that. So just like that. So I cut these a bit bigger because they're going to disintegrate real easy. Put that to the side. My white potato, because they're harder to cook, we're going to cut them smaller, but of that cube like. So we'll cut them into cubes, right? So just like that. So we'll have those into cubes. Boom. So these are cut smaller because they keep their shape better. And we put that to the side, and of course our fresh thyme here. And then for the green onion, aka scallion, the root of that, I'm going to rough chop that. Get that off, rough chop the root. We're going to add that into my shrimp, right? And then now for the green ends, we're going to use this for garnishing. So just give that a nice little cut. Half teaspoon of that dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of our garlic powder, some fresh cracked black pepper. And I'm going to go into about a half teaspoon in there. For the all-purpose seasoning, 1.5 tablespoons. As I said, if you have fish seasoning, you can use that. And we're going to leave half a tablespoon for later on if we need it. We don't want to over season this. And then now we're going to use 1.5 tablespoons of curry powder. And I'm going to save back half of that, right? A drizzle of olive oil. And I'm going to go ahead and season that. And I'm trying not to get no curry under my fingers today. So you can use a spoon, or if you have a glove, you can go ahead. But I really don't like to mess up my fingers sometimes with the curry. You see it? Call me pretty boy if you will. Man, nobody know why you find a dirty fingernail, man. Or woman. You see? So yeah, that is nicely seasoned up. But one thing is missing. You guessed it right. Our pimento berries. And we're just gonna crush them slightly. See? Not all of them. So I have about 5 grains here. And I'm gonna add that now into my curry. So this now gives it that authentic curry flavor. And then we're just gonna put this to marinate. Now we're gonna go ahead and kickstart the shrimp, right? So on medium high, we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Coconut goes well with curry, you know what I say? And it's good for you. So go in with that oil. Then right away, we're gonna hit the oil with our white potatoes first. Because as I said, the white potatoes, they take a longer while to cook and they keep their shape more. So the white potatoes in. And then I'm going to go in with my onions. So onion with our white potato in. Alright. In goes my carrot at this stage. So after about 2 minutes, then you can add in that yellow potato. So going into our yellow potatoes. Give that about 2 minutes. Allow those potatoes to cook a little bit on medium-low heat. When you're dealing with shrimp and you're dealing with curry in the same dish, you have to make sure that you burn your curry. When you say burn, we don't mean to get it black. We need to cook off that raw curry flavor in your oil just before you add any shrimp or anything to that. That way, the curry won't give you a stomach ache. So you burn the curry a little bit, and we're going to put that now in our oil, and to just get that rawness out of the curry. And then that's going to give our potatoes and everything such a nice color. I'm going to season up that now with a bit of fresh pepper. So you go from the base in. Then I'm going to go in now with my fresh thyme, my garlic and my ginger, fresh ginger. I will put these in at this stage because if we had put them in it earlier, they would have burned. So we'll cook out a bit of that harshness from the garlic and the ginger. So we flavor in those potatoes. Remember, the shrimp is already flavored, so you have to flavor the potatoes and the carrots that's going in. And on medium heat, stir that around. Everything is coming in nicely. And you don't even have to add any coconut milk to your curry once you use this coconut oil, right? So I'm going to season with a little bit of that all-purpose seasoning that was left back, because we have to flavor these potatoes, right? Mix that in. And then now, we're going to hit that with our shrimp. Because remember, before we add any water, we need the shrimp to burn that curry as well. But because we wanted to give the potatoes color, we have to burn that curry separately, and then we have to burn this curry for the shrimp a second time around. Alright. So beautiful. Curry is burning off proper. So once you see these shrimp starting to get in orange, once you see your shrimp starting to change color to an orange look, then you know they're starting to cook. So you're just going to go ahead and you flip those over. Right? Flip those over. Yeah. So we're not going to add no water right now because we want to get rid of majority of that raw curry as possible. And then now, that same pan that we have, we get some water, about 1 cup, and we're just gonna rinse that out. Get the extra seasoning there, and then in now with our water. So I'm gonna add this in, not all at once, because I don't want to drop the temperature too much. Put in a little bit first, and allow it to just bubble up a little bit, then we add in the remainder of that water. So when we put that curry on there, you know, the curry has already burned off for about 3 to 5 minutes with everything, right? and then we put that shrimp in for about the next 2 minutes, and then we're gonna finish this off for 5 minutes. So in total, that shrimp is gonna be cooking for about 7-8 minutes maximum, right? So it won't be overcooked. We're gonna, now you see that water starting to boil up, we add the rest of the water. Because if we add all of that water at once, it's gonna take a long while and we're gonna boil the shrimp, and we don't want that. We want to cook them in nicely. And this should suffice for the liquid, right? We're gonna add to that now our peppers. Last minute thing, because we need those peppers to be nice and crunchy. I don't know if this clip was shown because my first camera turned off, but I just added my bell peppers in at the last minute. And we're just gonna cover this up and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Potatoes will be ready and your peppers should be nice and crunchy. Boom. So my camera battery died, so I don't know if you saw all of that, but all I did was after that 5 minutes, turn the heat off and then added that fresh spring onion, or you can call it green onion, on there. And there you go. As I was saying before too, check out this gravy. It may seem thin, but one thing you have to note, you know, once those potatoes are in there, sit this on your counter for 5 minutes, that gravy will get nice and thick. So don't use the thinness of the gravy to say, okay, it still needs cooking and then you're gonna overcook that shrimp. What you need to do, as soon as you see that starting to get a little thickness to it, turn that off and then it will get thick on its own. If you check the corners here, you can see where it's starting to thick up, right? And of course, our potatoes are nice and cooked, see? Right? Those are the big ones. The tiny ones, which are softer, boom. So those are nice and soft, right? And there you have it, your curry shrimp. And this can be served on some jasmine or basmati, nice white rice, or some bread to just soak up that extra sauce, however way you like it. You feel me I say? So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You know me I say? Leave in the comment section what you'd like to see next. Until next time, people, safe travel on the gravel and go and big up on yourself.